This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Next up, we see Scott Hudson interview D-Ray 3000.
Oh, God.
Who stuck a comb in his afro. He stammered and said he's happy to be in TNA, but he doesn't know whom he'll be wrestling. Now, D-Ray 3000, another TNA original, if you will, although I think he did have a cup of coffee with the WWE on the skit a couple of years later. He was like the Ethiopian heavyweight champion or something stupid. But D-Ray 3000, what a character this guy was. Any good D-Ray memories you can share with us?
Well, okay. So D-Ray's from Detroit, brought him down. And look, he wasn't any fantastic, blow you away X Division guy, but he was a good, solid in-ring worker. But this is one of those Russo things that when I saw it for the first time, I said, okay, that's entertaining. So D-Ray, you know, his natural facial expression is that it's like he's just the most easygoing, laid back kind of guy that he's not going to get excited for anything, but he's always looking for his next match. And Russo had that him finish his promos, and he would ask Scott Hudson, say, all right, I'm ready to go. Which way's the ring? And the announcer would point to the left or whatever it may. He'd point to the left, and D-Ray would just, with really good comedic timing, nod his head in agreement, like, all right, I'm going to go get him, and then go the other way.
Yeah.
It was a little touch of comedy that got D-Ray noticed. It made him connect with the audience because the people are like, oh, that's D-Ray. He's the one who's, whether he's out to lunch or does the opposite or whatever it is. But yeah, fun little, I had a D-Ray and Shark Boy as a tag team.
Hilarious.
Some good comedy, but another episode.
Next up, we've got Abyss pinning D-Ray in 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Meltzer would say Abyss was fascinated with the comb in D-Ray's hair. Goldilocks came to the ring with a briefcase late in the match. Abyss hit his black hole slam to easily win. Goldie opened the briefcase and revealed a lot of cash. We don't know why exactly. 1 star. As Abyss keeps beating on D-Ray, Eric Watts comes down to make the save. And Tenay said Russo had told Watts to stay away from the asylum until further notice. He knocked Abyss out of the ring. Goldie grabbed the briefcase. Watts yanked it away from her and said it was his money. Security then entered the ring and escorted him to the back. And Vince Russo made sure he left the arena. Russo insisted Watts give him the money back to quote unquote trust him and told him to go home and be with his wife. And Watts seemed shocked that Russo would bring up his wife, and Goldie ran into the picture and screamed that Watts should go home to his wife. What in the world is going on here?
I wish I could tell you, pal, because I'd have to research a few of the other weekly. Look, it obviously involves Goldie and Watts and money, and because Eric he would come up and run a string of Wednesdays, and then he would be off for a while. I don't recall, Conrad. I'll just be candid here. I don't know all the ins and outs of the exact story, where it was going, where it was coming from. Probably is where we need to do the jumping off point.
Talk to me about Goldilocks. How was she to work with?
She's talented. She didn't, you know, she's by trade, she's a music artist. She's a singer. And my original attorney of TNA Entertainment, or J Sports Entertainment, was a connection here locally who was, I was connected originally from Mark Miller of Sawyer Brown through that law firm. And Deborah Wagner, who is the attorney, also represented Goldilocks, or they, you know, that was the business, some type of connection there. And Goldie had a different way about her. And again, TNA, we were looking for females to be on the show. Didn't have a knockouts division, so how can you get a female on the show in a consistent manner without putting them in the ring? She was a backstage announcer.
What about your boy Eric Watts, a name we haven't seen in wrestling for a long, long time? Of course, in the early 90s, he was a staple for WCW and received a lot of criticism. And then it feels like he just sort of went away, and now, bam, he's back here in TNA.
So what was the question? What, I mean, he was on the Wednesday stories. There was a time when he was heavily featured. Cowboy Bill Watts' son, for those who were not, a father of my peer, a territory promoter, also worked for Vince and WCW. But Eric was a former college quarterback at the University of Louisville. Like you said, early days, man, he was really put in a tough spot. Probably not quite ready for that spot as far as seasoned in-ring ability. But in TNA in the Asylum years, he was one of those guys that knew how to get over. Him and Russo had a really tight relationship. And what was it? I mean, he's a real asset to the Wednesday night shows.
It's just amazing to me that he's back. Is that your idea? What was your experience like working with him?
That was Russo. That was Russo, again, coming up from Atlanta. It was Russo, probably, I want to say Disco also had a relationship with Eric. I'm not positive. But anyway, it was definitely a Russo-driven decision.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.